everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning.
We ask that you may bless us and keep us safe, and that you may have a smooth day, dear Father. Guide us and protect us in this uncertain time. We pray. We say amen.
Amen.
Amen. And 1 second.
No. I should be down there, sir. Look around there.
You throw it down there.
Look around there.
Get this. Get it. Put it on.
Slightly up the downtown road. Don't try to find it here. Too itchy.
Where is it?
No. I'm not laughing.
Unknown.
Good morning, everyone. A very warm welcome to each of you. Thank you so much for joining us today in this virtual workshop for mathematics. You know, I'm missing the old days. I don't know if you are, but typically we would be in a nice venue, we'd be gathered together, we'd have been greeting each other, and it would have been a happy, warm atmosphere. But this year, of course, we're challenged by COVID, and so we have to be apart. God willing, we'll be together next year. But I really just want to say how wonderful it is to have you with us. We believe some 300 persons have registered and probably will be joining us for this workshop that's facilitated by Mrs. Gracie Edwards as she tries to cover the math syllabus today and share some strategies for delivery. Without any further ado, I'm going to invite Mrs. Sharon Smith-White, an education officer from Region 1, to lead us in prayer.
Good morning, everyone. Can you hear me? Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning, everybody. Every day, what a wonderful day today is. An awesome day to be alive. To do good to those that we meet each day, and just to be happy to be alive. I'm so happy to be alive. An awesome time. So I thought I want to leave with us this morning, colleagues. Every day brings us countless opportunities to do what is right without thinking who it will benefit. I want to share with you this morning for devotion a short story about the great Titanic. Sure, you watched movies and read books and read magazines and documentaries on the Titanic, but I have a little story I learned this morning that I want to share with you that we hardly hear people talk about when they talk about the great Titanic. At 12:10 April 15th, 1912, Jack Phillips, a senior wireless operator at the Titanic, received an order to send out a distress signal. The ship had just collided with an iceberg. Several ships responded to the SOS. The Carpathia, which was about 66 miles away, responded immediately. Its captain, Arthur, forced his engine 17 knots, and it took him 4 hours. And you know what? He had 709 survivors in his effort. But did you know what I found this morning? That the ship Californian was about 9 to 12 miles away from the sinking site. But its captain, according to the story, disconnected the telegraph and went to bed. Why? Why did they do that? Because the senior wireless operator was rude to the captain, and there was a relationship issue. The Titanic started calling for help around midnight and sank about 2:30 in the morning. But Captain Lord eventually got there at 8:30 in the morning. Late because of 2 men and their ego. What a sad story. He could have made it there on time to provide rescue for hundreds of people swimming in the cold water of the Atlantic. There is still controversy today about who should be blamed. The Titanic buried 1,514 people out of almost 2,000 in the deep, cold Atlantic. Only if 2 men would just have left their ego behind, do the right thing, move with urgency on the urgent saving mission. What an awesome opportunity they would have missed because of their ego. You and I, colleagues, are on a saving mission. A saving mission. Let us not allow issues at work. Colleagues, I was there. I was a teacher myself, was a principal and an EO, and I know that we can have issues in the school that we work. Where we work, we have so many relationship issues, interpersonal relationship issues. Let us not allow that, colleagues, to hinder us to do what is good, what is right for the nation's children as we work for the nation's children. It doesn't allow what people will say and do to us. Sometimes I know we have issues with our principal, with our colleagues, and we feel disillusioned. We feel like we don't want to do anything else and we give up. And who suffer? The children. Many of us have our egos. All of us do. But colleagues, let us not in any way think all the time that we have our issues at work wherever we are. Let us think of the greater good. Even when we do so much and we are not rewarded, let us think of the greater good. Head towards the children who are like the sinking Titanic. Let us try to save as many of them as we can. Let's put away our ego. Remember now, blessings come from above. The Lord is the one who gives blessings. So remember now, whatever we do now, blessings are coming from above. We want to know, myself and you included, that those who come behind us will find us faithful, will find us faithful. Here's our thought for today from Isaiah 58, 7 and 8. It says, do not turn away from your own flesh and blood. Then your light is my favorite part. Then your light will break forth like the dawn. What a beautiful text. When we do good for humanity from the heart, our spirit will soar. We feel light. We feel rejuvenated. We feel as if the blessings are coming in so many ways, in health, clear mind, restful sleep. These are so important than to get all these rewards. You know, colleagues, so let us think of the greater good. Then your light will break forth like the dawn. What a wonderful thing to have a clear mind and a beautiful spirit. It lifts up your heart. It makes you happy. And those who are around you want to be around you because you have a happy spirit. May, as we work for the nation's children and make a land we love, our lights will break forth like the dawn. Remember now, the Lord will bless you, and not only you, but your children's children. He will bless you abundantly. He will increase your territory and open it wide, so you will be blessed in return. I am going to ask you to bow your heads with me as we pray. Let us pray. Let us pray. Lord, as we gather today, this morning, we ask, Lord, that you will be in our midst. We seek your guidance, your wisdom, and support today. Be thou, Lord, our vision, our wisdom, O Lord of our hearts. Bless this gathering, City and Guild Workshop, Lord, today, and all those who will lead out with clarity, unity, hope, and vision. To our director, Mrs. Duncans, and the teachers, Dr. Troop, all of those who will participate this morning. Remind us, Lord, that whatever we will accomplish today is for the greater glory of you and for the service of humanity. This we pray in the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. May blessings attend us today as we move on into our discussion and our seminar and our workshop. Thank you all. Blessings to you all. God bless you all. Have a good and prosperous day.
Thank you, Sharon. Thank you for those inspiring words, and thank you for your prayer. I'm confident that the Lord heard you and that he will indeed bless this workshop.
Thank you.
You know, my friends, these are times when we really have to inspire ourselves, because on the news today, we heard that 1.5 million people have now died from COVID in just 8 months. And that's a very sobering fact. It governs how we relate to each other, how we worship, how we attend to what we have to do. In fact, We even have to cover our faces as we step out. And this mask is testimony of that. But this is what's helping to keep us well. So I really want to say, Sharon, that you focused on important issues that we need to address individually and professionally. Now, we're really blessed this morning to have with us Dr. Cassandra. She's the Acting Chief Education Officer. She's an inspirational leader. And without further ado, it's over to Dr. True, who has honored us by bringing greetings this morning.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Duncanson. Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Mrs. Smith-White. It's really good to see you. It's been so hard, team members, to see each other due to the pandemic. But I've been inspired by your words of wisdom this morning, Mrs. Smith-White.
Thank you.
So, as I observe the protocols, Mrs. Duncanson and the team from City and Guilds, our National Math Coordinator, our SEOs and education officers who are online with us this morning, our senior leaders, mighty God, what would we do without you? You have been magnificent throughout this period. Our instructional experts, our teachers, it is said that the system cannot go higher than the quality of its teachers. Good morning to you all. Good morning to all participants this morning. I bring you greetings on behalf of our newly appointed ministers and our acting permanent secretary, and of course the wider central ministry. We are indeed grateful, teachers, for your hard work, for your tenacity, for your commitment to duty. We have been hit very hard during this period that we now talk about as the new normal. It has disrupted everything that you know, but you have remained resolute. You have sought to improve your capacity. I must say, as Chief Education Officer, I am very impressed with the interest that you have demonstrated in building your capacity to navigate the virtual environment. It is a first in the history of our education system that we have seen the high level of interest being demonstrated in capacity building. And this morning is also a reflection of that. City and Guilds and the Ministry of Education, we have a long history, a long partnership. And in recent times, we renewed that partnership to have a contract to extend for an additional 10 years. And we are hoping that we will go beyond that. And throughout these 10 years, teachers, we're expecting to see a minimum of 250,000 Jamaicans being certified. We understand the importance of this to the nation. Our students need to be certified, need to be able to move into higher learning, need to be able to move into the world of work. And we have expanded our suite of assessments and examinations to make sure that our students can remain competitive. So not only are you delivering the CXC, but you are also delivering our City and Guilds modules in the math skills, the language skills, the customer service, and of course, our engineering program. So you are delivering our math skills, and we are grateful for what you continue to do. I want to commend the City and Guilds for the partnership and for all that you have invested in our teachers. You never cease to make sure that they are refreshed. And this is what today is designed to do, to refresh your skill set and rejuvenate and encourage you to give up, even in this time of disruption. City and Guilds, I am grateful that you continue to, invest your resources in the capacity of our teachers. And I can assure you, on behalf of our teachers, that they will benefit tremendously from this. And our students at the end of the day will stand to celebrate and be the testimony of the investment that you continue to make. It is said that the influence of a teacher has no end. It is immortal. And this is what we do, teachers. We have the opportunity to build our young people, to enable them to be the best that they can be. Thank you for signing on this morning. Thank you for the demonstration of commitment and of appreciation for what the value of learning is as you continue to grow as individuals. We have demonstrated that we believe in your work. City and Guilds did that this year. Throughout the pandemic, we had to make some adjustments. We had to stand to demonstrate to the public that we believe in what you do. And you would have seen that the City and Guilds relied on the calculated scores, which is again a demonstration of your competence and the consistency that you continue to deliver. Today, our students can move into higher learning. Today, they can move into the world of work because of the quality work that you have delivered. We are proud of you, teachers. We are grateful for what you continue to do. And I want to encourage you. Benefit today. Take all that you can today, because we're expecting that you will continue to give and to build our young people going forward. We need all of you. Education is a team sport. We cannot transform this country without you. You are valuable in the process of transformation. You are social entrepreneurs. We have the best job. We build humankind. We make them smile. We make them the best that they can be. On behalf of our ministers, I want to thank you and I want to encourage you never to give up. I know you have your personal challenges too. I know you have dislocation in your families as well, but we stand together in this pandemic. And I've been encouraging my principals to be understanding, to listen to you. We know some of you have the comorbidities. We know you have your own children, and we're trying our very best, teachers, to make sure that we can set up the instructional experiences that it will show consideration for you and your own families. Trust us that we will continue the dialogue as we all pull together to make education a success, even during this time of difficulties. God bless you all, and I wish for you again a productive afternoon. God bless you. Have a good day. Thank you, Mrs. Duncanson. Over back to you.
Thank you, Dr. Troop. And well said. I told you she's an inspirational leader, and she epitomizes the team that exists at ministry. And, you know, I want to thank an army of people, the senior management of ministry, the permanent secretary, our chief education officer, the deputy chief education officers, the senior directors, the regional directors, the education officers, our national coordinator for math, Dr. Benjamin, and of course that dynamic team of math coaches, the national coordinator for literacy, Dr. Hill, and his own team of specialists. And then of course our stakeholders. What would we do without our principals, our heads of department, our subject teachers, our examination secretaries? And then there's a team in London, the operations team, the product team, the quality assurance team, the assessment team, the distribution team. And of course, we have our little panel of wise women, as I call them, Professor Carol Clark and Mrs. Sylvia Bryan, who lead us with English, and Mrs. Gracie Edwards, who is here with us today, who leads us with math. We have a cadre of external verifiers led by Ken Samlal, Mr. Ken Samlal in Trinidad, and they're dedicated to what they do. And of course, my own team here in this rep office, Annie K. Hines, Crystal Daly, Carla Myers, Chantel Perkins, Rashid Reed, Danica Johnson, Devon Mercurius, and Betty Ann Blaine, who did over 100 student presentations this year. So I want to endorse all that our CEO has said, that education is transformational. If there is anything that will take Jamaica out of economic hardship and that will give us a better life, it is education. So teachers, I just want to repeat to you what Aristotle said thousands of years ago. Teachers are more to be honored than parents. Parents give children life, but teachers give them the art of living well. So we really thank you this morning for all that you do for our nation. And we encourage you, as has your CEO, to continue in the battlefield and not give up, even in these hard times. So with your permission, I'm just going to share a few slides just to update you with what's been happening with City and Guilds.
So, you know, we're a British examination body, and we are dedicated to vocational qualification. So this is our motto. I'm not going to go
Great, or read it because you're all familiar with it. And we focus, as I said, on vocational qualifications. So this is a definition of competence, the ability to perform a task or job successfully by using a combination of knowledge, skill, and behavior, and measured against a standard. And City and Guilds at a glance. I'm not going to go through all the points, but just to say that we've been around for a very long time. So chances are we know what we're doing. City and Guilds was established
142 years ago. Can you imagine? We offer some 500 qualifications in UK, fewer on the international market, and we operate in some 80 countries across the world with 5,000 approved centers around the globe. But I want to focus on what I see as City and Guilds' 5 key strengths. They are the fact that we offer learners the opportunity of qualifications that are portable.
Recognized. We help people to achieve their ambitions, so we're aspirational. We give learners the opportunity to progress. You know that we offer a very distinctive staged approach, for example, in our math and English. And we're very focused on employability.
Because ultimately, education has to be an investment that will allow our young people to enjoy a good standard of living. So we're very focused on the employability aspect of it. So here in Kingston, we have a rep office, and we basically support the other territories in the region, not just Jamaica. So we have a cadre here in Jamaica of 25 private training providers. And these include schools like IIRQ, Distinction College, etc. We support the ministry with 144 technical sixth form centers, 149 grade 11 centers. And more recently, we have an MOU with the Heart Trust, NSTA, and we have on board 45 heart centers that we support. We offer our accreditation facility to Wigton Farms Limited and UCAS, United Career Assessment Services. We also offer our ILM accredited programs to JBDCO and Customer Service Academy of Jamaica. And for those of you who have been attending our workshops, who have perhaps seen a similar presentation over the years, you know, we have a very long history of partnering with Jamaican training entities, going back to those early days of the College of Arts, Science and Technology, a polytechnic before the emergence of the University of Technology. And of course, since the inception of the Career Advancement Program in 2010, we've been providing learners with our exams in math and English. So I want to tell you about the qualifications that are offered here in the Caribbean, our region. So these include our prestigious vocational qualifications like engineering, that's very high order. And then we have a much lower order, the Skills Proficiency Awards that are offered across 12 occupational areas. And then we have our single subjects that include math, English, and customer service. We also offer from the Institute of Leadership and Management qualifications, and all of these they fit on the UK framework. So this is very important to know. And then of course we offer our assured and accreditation service. We're now providing digital credentials, and we'll be speaking a little bit more about that, and our Global Hospitality Awards. So these pretty much summarize what's offered here in the Caribbean. Through the intervention of the ministry, you know already that we have formal endorsements from the Heart Trust. Our stage 3 of math and English are accepted for recruitment into the Jamaica Constabulary Force, the Jamaica Defense Force, the Ministry of the Public Services. We enjoy a MOU with the Jamaica Employers Federation. Our qualifications are endorsed by the University Council of Jamaica. And consequent to this endorsement by the UCJ, we hold letters of endorsement from 22 local universities, including the University of Technology and the University of the West Indies that will accept for matriculation to undergraduate programs of study or stage 3 of math and English. So Dr. Troop mentioned that we signed a 10-year agreement with Ministry of Education. And here are some photos from that. The event took place in November of last year. So you see former State Minister Terrelong signing the contract along with our CEO, Kirsty Donnelly, and looking on are Dr. Grace McLean and Dr. Kassan Troop. And then on the photo to the right, you're looking at our engineering high achievers. These 3 young men fulfilled all the requirements after a 2-year rigid program, very rigorous program of engineering. And they're being met here in this photo by former Minister of State, Terrelong, with Kirsty Donnelly looking on. Now this contract with our Ministry of Education, and we're very grateful for it, it allows us to serve the young people of Jamaica. And the focus is on math skills. And you know that our math basically is offered across 3 stages, as too is our English. We offer our high order engineering, typically for young people who have the ability to manage high order math, physics, and engineering science. We offer customer service, and this is used primarily for young people who are looking to go into the business process outsourcing sector or to go into tourism. And of course, the Skills Proficiency Awards is offered across 12 occupational areas. So here are some figures. It's basically the big picture that shows that over a 9-year period, 2011 to 2019, we had issued 98,000 certificates in math and English. Now, this doesn't reflect the 2020 because I want to address this very specifically. We had to look at a new assessment strategy for 2020, consequent of COVID-19. So City and Guilds London met with our ministry, and the decision was taken to look at the calculated grading approach. You know, in the UK itself, the regulator Ofqual decided that no student in the UK, that is England, Wales, Ireland, or Scotland, should go into an examination hall because of this pandemic that the world is experiencing. So it was offered as an option to our ministry, and they embraced it. And it was an exciting summer as we all learned so much about the system and about our educators. It was a holistic approach involving principals, heads of department, and teachers. The centers had to recommend a grade for math and English, and they say teachers are the best assessors. It's they who know their students best. So there was a heavy reliance on the teachers' professionalism, their judgment, and their integrity. And I have to say that our teachers did very well. And we're so grateful to you for the support and for your involvement. Now, these grades were submitted to London to be finalized and reviewed by a London examination panel. So I want to share with you some interim results that we have. Oh, just to say that by way of support in this year, we're going to be offering teachers the opportunity for continuous assessment. So London is allowing us to pull 2 papers from the City and Guilds exam bank. And we're suggesting, because who knows what is ahead of us for next year, we're hoping that we can revert to our normal assessment strategy, which would be a paper-based exam, but we never know, do we? So let's try and be prepared. So we're offering these 2 papers for math and English, and we're suggesting that you may want to use them in December, God willing, school being back in session, and again in March, so that if we have to go back to this process, the calculated grading that was used over this summer, we would have a standardized approach. I want to share the results from the 2020. These are calculated grades. And at this point, we are only presenting 61% of the results. These grades have already been passed to the planning unit of ministry. I know many principals have been calling, asking what's happening with the grades, and literally hundreds of students have contacted us. So we're assuring them that these results will be available by the 1st of October. But just to show you, the teachers came pretty close to the 2019 results. We're looking here at math. We're looking at, if you look at the top row, it says combined CAP and grade 11. So we're looking at a total of 16,754 results. And of these, 67% of candidates were deemed successful by their teachers, and 33% were not. So this is a very good indication that our teachers know their students well, because this very much maps to what obtained in terms of the performance history. The grades are not completed. As I said, there is another 39% to be added to this, so the picture could change. So we're looking here at English. Today's not a session for English, but we can take a look. And you know what's interesting? The teachers of English were really, really very, very firm in how they graded the students, because the net result was that the students' overall performance was not as good in 2020 as in 2019. And this is all based on teacher assessment. Now, the results for the Heart Trust NSTA are not yet available, because the decision was taken that these candidates would actually write a paper. So they're writing their paper on Thursday, the 1st of October, and their results probably will not be available until the first week in December. So we have some new things to report to you, and digital badging perhaps is the most exciting. We're also going to be talking about smart screen in a big way. And of course, most of you would know that Hodder Educational Services has now produced a text specifically for City and Guilds Math and English that is now available to you. So we want to look at the digital badging. Digital badging. I think you'll all agree with me that COVID has driven the technology significantly. So I want you to just imagine a certificate that is given in the form of a digital badge. How does it work? The candidate, the successful candidate, would have to meet the requirement to earn a digital badge. And then City and Guilds issues that digital badge. They do this because of their partnership with Credly, who are the largest providers of digital badges. And Credly uses a unique blockchain technology, perhaps the best in the world. So the way it works is that the candidate would receive an email, and that email would give them access to an Acclaim account. And it is on that basis that they are able to download their digital badge and put it on their device. They can put it on their phone, they can put it on a tablet, they have it with them. So people like me who are grandmas will still get a certificate, a paper certificate that you can frame and hang on the wall, or their parents might want to hang that certificate on the wall. But very significantly, the candidates who are successful for math, English, and the skills proficiency in 2020 will be receiving a digital badge. It's very simple. So what are some of the benefits to students? Digital badges can be added to resumes, email signatures, social media. They can put it up on Facebook, LinkedIn, and it provides a powerful profile for earners. So we call digital badge earners. These are the successful candidates. And they can easily display to potential employers right there in real time online. They're skill-based, shareable, verifiable, CV-worthy, data-rich, trackable, all of the above. So this year, of the 61% of results that we have got so far, 11,909 badges have been earned by Jamaican students for math and English. Part of the reason why there are so few is that in many instances, we did not capture a proper email for the candidates. And this is something that I'm going to ask our exam secretaries to focus on for 2021. It's very important in the registration process that we capture the candidates' details, the usual name, date of birth, gender, but very importantly, we need their email addresses, a professional email address. So 7,400 achieved badges for math and 4,400, almost 4,500 for English. And this is what the badge looks like. We're looking at the math badges. So there's a badge for stage 1, stage 2, and stage 3. And how it works is that when you click on the badge, this is just a photo, so it's not a real badge. If it were a real badge, I'd be able to interrogate it. When I click on it, the candidate's name would come up. So there would be Marva Duncanson, and the profile would come up. And then when you click again, it would show you what the certificate actually allows a candidate to achieve. So that's what is called the metadata. Metadata is contained in this badge. So just imagine, teachers, how wonderful this is. The same thing obtains for English. So we're looking at the skills proficiency. Now, remember I told you our contract with ministry, we focus on math, English, the skills proficiency. And this is just a table that indicates how we've been doing. So in 2020, we increased our registration to 2,109 candidates. And so far this year, 53% have been certified. Some of these whose email addresses we have will be getting a badge from London. But importantly, we don't have all the results in yet. There is still a 14% that's pending. And this is what the badges look like, the skills proficiency. So these are the 3 hospitality badges. There's one for food prep, one for food and beverage, one for housekeeping. And the whole process would be similar, as I just explained, for the math and English. And then there are 6 badges across construction: carpentry, masonry, painting and decorating, plumbing, electrical installation, and fabrication. And then there are 2 for automotive, one for motor vehicle engineering and one for motorcycle repair. And then the last of the occupational areas is IT for office applications. And of course, customer service. We first introduced customer service last year as ministry sought to train up persons for employment in the business process outsourcing. We're told that business process outsourcing now employs some 36,000 persons. So it is basically an area that many young people look to. And this year we have 4,100 students registered. Their exams are going to be on Thursday, the 1st. And a quick look at what happened last year when we registered 7,000 students. And of these, 2,578 achieved digital badges. So this is what the customer service badge looks like. 2 badges, one for level 1 and one for level 2. You're getting this year smart screen access. It started last year, but there was very limited use of it. This year, we're hoping that teachers are going to make much better use of it. This is a tutorial that City and Guilds makes available. It's a platform, a tutorial platform, and just about everything that you would need to successfully deliver our math and English is on this platform. So each school has been given access, and we're hoping that you will use this access, and we're setting up a help desk here at the rep office to be able to support you teachers. So we will speak about that in correspondence that we will share with you. And of course, This slide shows the suite of support that we offer to you. So we offer our syllabus. We offer printed diagnostic tests, and these tests have been printed, packaged, and delivered across our regional offices. And we've asked principals to collect their packages because it's a diagnostic test, which was developed for us by Mrs. Edwards for math and Miss Bryan for English. These tests will help you determine which stage of the exam is most appropriate for your students. Now, we don't know when school will be back in session, so it's a wait and see game in terms of when you'll be able to give those diagnostic tests, but we're going to be talking about that. And of course, we offer you 8 sets of specimen papers across each stage of math and English. We spoke about the fact that we're offering you this year 2 practice exams, full papers that can be offered, we think, in December and in March. And of course, this access to Smart Screen is crucial in terms of your support. So we encourage you to take advantage of the one-on-one sessions that we'll be having to give you the expertise to adequately use Smart Screen. And that's all for me for the time being. So thank you for listening. Thank you for having joined us this morning. You would have joined us either via Zoom or we're streaming live on YouTube. So there is that option as well. So at this point, Miss Crystal Daly is going to introduce Mrs. Edwards, Mrs. Gracie Edwards, who will be taking you through our math syllabus today. Thank you very much.
Good morning again, colleagues, and welcome again to our annual math workshop. My name is Crystal Daly, Business Development Officer here at the Caribbean Rep Office for City and Guilds. and I have the distinct pleasure of introducing today's presenter, Mrs. Gracie Edwards. Now, Mrs. Edwards is our subject specialist, and she's also the former head of the math department at the Michael University College. She's wagging her ruler at me, actually, just to say I'm to do a very short introduction. So without any further ado, I introduce to you Mrs. Edwards.
Thank you very much, Ms. Daly. A pleasant morning to each and every one of you. At this point in time, we're going to zero in on the math curriculum, the math qualification. We'll look at our handbook. Then we will look at sharpening our survival skills through problem solving, followed by the role of the math teacher in the emotional wellness of our students. Now, as was pointed out earlier, we noticed that by the time students got to grade 11, not all of them were ready for the CXC exams. Hence, there was need for another qualification that could set our students on the road to success. This qualification was specifically designed for students who could not complete the CXC exams at the end of grade 11. And so the City and Guilds math exam was designed for them. That exam comes in 3 tiers, and we shall look at that as we go along. The math examination is given in small, manageable units. The qualification is specifically done so that the units are small, bite-sized chunks, and the student is asked to go through those small assessment criteria at their own pace. The teacher takes them through gradually. The approach has to be practical and activity-based because, you know, prior to this, most teachers come armed with a maths book and the marker, and they talk to the children. By the time they get to grade 11, they're not fully prepared for exams. The City and Guilds require that the students get involved in what they're doing. They must be feeling the subject. They must know the subject. Now, when they go through in small bits and experience success at every stage, then those students will build their confidence over time. And you know what it is when students pass a math exam. They are quite excited. Even the recent exam results, the first thing that they looked for was, did I pass the math? It does something for the ego. And so the students love that. The City and Guilds math, the qualification they receive, that certificate is internationally recognized. And most people would like to know that you can go anywhere in the Commonwealth with that certification. Now, City and Guilds, the program is taken directly from the CSEC program. It covers the core of the CSEC program. So when you look at the topics that are covered, computation, number theory, consumer arithmetic, measurement, statistics, and the elementary algebra and geometry, it does not cover the part 2 of CSEC. Sets, relations, functions and graph, vectors and matrices, those are not covered. But the parts that are covered runs parallel to the CSEC. The only thing, it's just as wide, but it's not as deep. But you would not expect it to be as deep because these students are not yet ready for CSEC exams. Now, the examination comes in 3 stages. Stage 1, 2, and 3. And as I said, it covers the core of the CSEC, with stage 3 mapping closest to the CSEC. And it's aimed for those students who are going to leave school and go straight to the working world immediately after leaving school, because the emphasis for City and Guilds is employability. These students are selected. We are hoping that for all schools, the students would be selected at the end of the grade 9 exams. By then, teachers would know those students who would be ready to sit CSEC. We would like that to happen, because when the student at the end of grade 9 realizes that, well, I'll not be ready for CSEC, we can put them on an alternative pathway where they can follow the City and Guilds math. The City and Guilds math emphasize problem solving, it emphasizes decision making, it emphasizes the ability to deal with numbers at different stages, and the interpretation of data. So these students, when they complete the program, are ready to go right into the world of work when they pass their examination. The students do not have to progress through all 3 stages, but based on their teacher's discretion and the exams they have done, they can determine whether they do stage 1, 2, or 3, or exactly where on the program they will start. As pointed out, the topics run for all 3 stages, with the topics getting deeper as you go through each stage. There you have on the screen the topics that are covered at all 3 stages. If we look carefully, you will notice here that the assessment criteria, which I pointed out, were small, bite-sized chunks. For example, in stage 1, there are 62 assessment criteria, and the examination has 60 items. It follows that the teacher is required to go through all assessment criteria to prepare the student for the exam. A quick look at stage 2. There are 44 assessment criteria, 60 questions. And stage 3, we have 49 of them and 60 questions. Teachers, I'm emphasizing this because you cannot just teach it as a block. You have to go through carefully through all the requirements, because each item is tested. If I should show you, I don't have one here to show you, but the exam question paper, every single criteria has a question. So this year, question 6 on assessment paper 1 is the same criteria as assessed on next year's paper. The same criteria is tested in the same question. A different question, but it's asking for the same information. Please be careful when you are preparing the students that you do so carefully, doing each criteria. I can't overemphasize it because the students will not be able to do their exams if they do not do each of them. So, as we said, after they have gone through all their assessment criteria for all their topics, they are now ready to sit the examination. And for all stages, the examination is a 2-hour multiple choice paper. All right? If you look on the screen, you'll see what the pass mark is for each stage. It differs for each stage, and the students know before going into the exam exactly what their pass mark will be. Following the examination, at the end of the exams, the chief examiner's report is sent to all teachers so they know exactly the areas that were not taken care of by their students correctly. And they have a chance next year to develop those areas. All right? Let me hope that I have indicated to you what is special about our City and Guilds. It's similar to CSEC, just as wide, but not as deep. And it takes its students through the functional part of math, the number section of math, so that they are ready to go directly to the working world when they have finished this program. All right. Thank you very much. If you have any questions, you can ask them, type them in, and we will see them.
Hello, my name is Kimberly Miller from the Vauxhall High School, and I am looking on shape and space. The volume of a three-dimensional object with a constant cross-section will be explored in this presentation. There are two items on a desk. One is a paper with a drawing on it, and the other is a cardboard box. Now that drawing on the paper is a two-dimensional figure, and that cardboard box is a 3D object or a solid. The basic types of three-dimensional objects include a triangular prism. For this triangular prism, the cross-section is a triangle. And the cross-section, it's constant. It is constant because if you cut along the length of this triangular prism, the shape that you obtain on each slice will be congruent. They will be the same size and same shape. A cube. Each face is a square, so the cross-section is a square. This is a cuboid, and the cross-section there is a rectangle, and its cross-section is also constant. Cylinder, cross-section is a circle. Now for pyramids and spheres, these solids do not have a constant cross-section. What is volume? Volume is the amount of space within the interior of a three-dimensional object. For example, this is a cylinder. This cylinder is filled with solid. This cylinder is filled with liquid. And this cylinder is filled with gas. And we consider this cylinder to be empty. Now, in some cases, a cylinder can have all three states of matter: solid, liquid, and gas. Unit for volume include cubic units, whether it is centimeters cube, meters cube, millimeters cube, or the volume can be liters. The conversion between the two is 1,000 centimeters cube is equal to 1 liter. Now finding the amount of space within a two-dimensional figure, otherwise called area. We have this rectangle. Now in order to find the area of this rectangle, we need to find the number of unit squares that can fit within the interior of the triangle. I'm sorry, rectangle. Now 10 unit squares can be fit into this rectangle. So the area is 10 unit squares. We can also find the area of this rectangle by using the area formula for rectangle, length times width. The length is 2 units, the width is 5 units, so the area is 10 units squared. Now finding the space within a three-dimensional object or the volume. Now we have that same two-dimensional figure. We are going to convert this to a three-dimensional figure. Now, instead of counting the number of squares, we are now going to count the number of unit cubes that can hold within this three-dimensional figure. Three-dimensional object, I'm sorry, and this is a cuboid. So let's start counting. So this layer is 6, and we have 5 layers of 6, so the total number of cubes is 30 unit cubes. So the volume is 30 unit cubes. Now we can use a formula to deduce the volume of a 3D object. Now we have the same 3D object. We are going to look on the cross section and get the measurements for the cross section. So the width is 5 units, the length is 2 units, and the cross section there is a rectangle, yes. And we have another measurement, which is the height, which is 3 units. So in order to find the volume using a formula, we will first find the area of the cross section and then multiply it by the height. So the area of the cross section, which is a rectangle, length times width, that would be 10 units squared for the area of the cross section. Now to find the volume, that 10 will be multiplied by the height, which is 3. So the volume is 30 units cube. So to find the volume of any three-dimensional object with a constant cross-section, all you need to do, find the area of the cross-section times the height. For the triangular prism, the cross-section is a triangle. Area of a triangle, base times height divided by 2. So the volume will be base times height divided by 2 times its length. Cylinder, the cross-section is a circle. Area of a circle is pi r squared. So the volume of this cylinder is pi r squared times height. In summary, to find the volume of a three-dimensional object with a constant cross-section, first identify your cross-section, find the area of the cross-section, then you will multiply that area by the length or height. Thank you for watching.
Good afternoon, colleagues. I want to have a little problem in the house. Right now, we need to know about it. So, we're on a boat last night. You know, Jamaican term cook pot. And I want to tell you, say, the man them share 4 dumplings give me, but we don't know if really and truly, you know, we get the same. And generally, they know what I say, they plate when they eat, so they want to count their food, you know. But I know I count 16 dumplings in that pot. And I really and truly want to know right now if they get the same amount or they take more than me get, because they could say 3 of them get the same amount. You understand? But we walk in to take something now. Our father go on. Sure, I want it, right? So, these are going to represent the 16 dumplings that are in the pot. And these are the 4 of us that were there. I'm sure of one thing, that I got 4 dumplings, right? I'm sure about that. But then there were 3 more of them that were there. So, I could see what happened now with the amount of dumpling that was left. So, we are sure that these 12 dumplings were left. So let us see now, 1 for this person, 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 1 for this person. Oh, so it look like say everybody get 4 dumplings to chew. Well, we're going to see now if we're going to take it a different angle. So here now on our board, see where we have using the unitary method to solve simple ratio and proportion problems. Now we know that unitary method is basically just equating it one side of the equation to 1. So 1 to something basically. Now say if there are 16 dumplings in a pot to be shared among 4 men, how much dumpling will each man get? So right away we know that we have 4 men to 16 dumplings, right? So it's a 2, 16 dumplings. So we basically have the ratio of 4 to 16. And we want to know how much will each man get. Man here. So we want to know how much one man will get, right? So we want the men's side basically to equal to 1. So how would I be able to get this side to equal to 1? Which of our 4 mathematical operations would be carried out here to get this to equal to 1. Beautiful. We would divide. So we divide by 4. So we divide by 4. But whatever we do to one side in maths, we do it to the other side, right? So we divide here by 4, and we divide on this side by 4. So 4 into 4 goes 1. 4 into 4 goes 1. 4 to 16 goes 4 times. 1 into 1 goes 1. Back our column, which means 2. And 1 into 4 goes 4. So therefore, one man will get 4 dumplings. This is basically how we could go about using real life scenarios to bring across this concept to our students. Hope you enjoy. Thank you.
To those 2 persons, Kimberly Miller and Cyprian Russell, or voices from the field. Now they took on and tried to present some assessment criteria, 1 assessment criteria, and then you are going to look at it, or you are supposed to be examining it, evaluating it, and determining whether or not it covered the criteria and whether or not you would use it when next you have to teach the topic. Now, as we move along, we're now going to look at sharpening your survival skills, and we're going to start by looking at taking a break and looking at some creative thinking. Let's see what we have there. I'm going to show you 9 pictures, little pictures, and you will tell me, write what you think when you look at each of them. I hope you have your pencil and paper so you can make jottings. This is for math, remember? So you have to write. So take a sheet of paper and a pen or pencil and tell me what each of those slides are saying. There are 9 of them. You can quickly type it and I'll see it. All right, somebody got that one right. All right, I am waiting. I'm not seeing any for number 9. What's your response for 9? I haven't seen any for number 3. Okay, we have got as far as 9. So can I share some answers with you that I got here? Number 1, I understand. Number, you got that. Number 2, odds and ends. I didn't see that one. Number 3, square feet. 4, reading between the lines. Yes, that's good. Number 5, give me an answer for 5. All right, I'll share that one for 5. Yes, it should. Long division. Number 5 is saying long division. 6. I can't see 6. Okay. What are you saying for 6? What about starting at the bottom and looking at it going up? Adds up, right? That one would be difficult. That one is saying adds up. 7, mind over matter. 8, 3 feet on the ground. And number 9 is saying you're beside yourself. Okay? Okay, I'm sure that got you thinking. Now, problem solving is a way of getting your students to think critically. And it's a way, I think, of getting your students to survive in this time that we are going through, because it requires them to be willing, be ready to solve problems. Because every day right now, we have a new problem. Every day there's something else we have to deal with. And as teachers, we must arm our students with the facility to deal with this, the mental mindset to deal with the new things that are happening every day. Now, in problem solving, we can look at 4 basic steps. And I am going to ask that beginning this term, when we go back to school in October, that you take your children through a period of problem solving. Give them reason to want to take on the problems that they're faced with and arm them with skills to take on those problems. The first thing they have to do when they have a concern, they have a problem, is to identify the problem. Read carefully if the problem is written. If not, evaluate the situation in front of you. Carefully evaluate the problem and put it in your own words. Say exactly what is this, what does it mean to me? Then you determine what you need to find. Develop a strategy. How am I going to solve this problem? Right? Try to look at it from all angles. Try to look at all the information that you have. all the things that impacts the problem, and then you decide what strategy is best to solve this problem. Then you execute, carry out your plan. And don't be afraid. If it doesn't work, no problem, try again. Get into the habit of doing something, and if it doesn't work, try again. All you have had is experience when you get something wrong. When you get the problem incorrect, you have gained some experience. You now know what not to do. So you try again. After you've done that, you assess the solution. Did it work? Did I solve the problem? Is it reasonable? Does it make sense? If it does, then you have a solution. If it doesn't, no problem. Let us try all over again. There are several strategies for solving problems. We won't do more than, we look at about 5 today that you'll introduce to your students, and then you introduce others to them. But please, teachers, take on problem solving now. The students need it in a time such as this. And we need them to be able and willing to think critically. Students, if they don't want to do the problem, there's not much you can do. So it behoves you to use problems that they will want to solve, things that relate to their everyday life and that they will really want to see what a solution would look like. The first one we're going to start with today is solving a simpler problem. So, for example, you are given a problem that has 9 boxes, and you are asked to put in the numbers from 1 to 9 so that each line adds up to the same amount. If you have that problem to solve, well, you probably don't know where to start. You have 9 numbers. Where do you go? You can try a simpler problem. So you can do one that has 5 boxes. This one you can look at, think about it, and you can easily provide or try an answer. Place the numbers from 1 to 5 in those circles and tell me what the sum would be quickly. Remember, we're setting it up for our students, so you should be able to do it quickly. State the sum. Tell me what the sum is. I'll see it. Each row, the row should add up to the same amount. So what is the sum you got? Type it, let me see. Go ahead, let me see your answers. You know, a problem is not a problem if the persons don't take it on. If they refuse to do it, then it's not a problem. I'm waiting on a response for these 3 circles. When you add 3 of them, you should get the same response horizontally as well as vertically. What's the sum that you get for your horizontal line? That's it already. I'm seeing 8, I'm seeing 10, 9. Now I'll probably have to ask you to tell me which 3 numbers you're putting in a row. Give me 3 that's equal to the other 3, because the 3 horizontal ones should add up to the 3 vertical ones. Horizontally, you would have 3, 5, and 2. Bring it up a little bit closer for going to the name now. Bring up the screen so I can read the name. Don't hit me any. Donovan, you're saying 1 for the sum. You're moving it too fast, or I'm moving too slowly. Gillette, Latimer, vertically 4, 1, and 3, 5, 1, and 2. Remember, you only have the digits 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So you can't use them twice. The only digits you're working with is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Place them in the row, place them in the column, and tell me what the total is. Or tell me the 3 numbers you have horizontally, the 3 numbers you have vertically. All right, I'm seeing from Karen Matthews, 314 and 215. Those don't add up to the same total. Both horizontal and vertically, you should get the same sum. Mr. Foster, R. Foster, look as though you're on the right track. Latimer, no, try again. Gary Chambers, I think you need to try again. The total is 10. Ms. Coward, no. Come, write it down and check it. I figure you're doing it in your heads. Please write it down. The sum is 8. No, Chantal. Bridget Shaw, no. Try again. Rashane Foster, you're on the right track. You're home and dry. Some persons are using one number twice. You only have the digits 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. You can only use them once. So a total of 8 is not correct. 10 for the total is not correct. Four, 5, 6, 7, 8, no. A. Francis, no, you got a total of 8 because you're using the digit 1 twice. Somebody said there are 2 answers, 8 and 9. 9 seems to be the correct answer. I'm trying to see how you got 8. I'm not seeing 8 as an answer using the digits only once. All right, we're going to work with 9. I see a number, you know, getting 9 for your answer. Now, we'll go back to the first one. Now, in this case, you notice what happened. Before we go back to the first one, We took a simpler problem, one that you were able to work with. Well, most of you are now getting it. You're putting the digits in each of the boxes, 5 boxes or circles. And you notice which digit went in the middle, which digit was placed in the middle. Of the digits, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, the middle digit went in the middle. So when you have a problem to solve, take a simpler one. Examine how you solved that problem. And having examined that, see if you can apply that same strategy to the bigger problem. All right, let's see if you can do that now and solve the first one that you got. Placing the 9 digits in the boxes. And you'll see that having identified how to do the simpler one, the next one is not as difficult. Now try that one. And this time put it in, and you'll tell me what the sum is. Yes, the sum is an odd number, fine. I just need you to tell me what the odd number is. Third. Okay, I'm seeing a total of 9. Will not be able to take the digits in each box. There's supposed to be a digit in the center, please. Add that digit in the center for me. So there are 3 boxes that will give you the sum in all the rows. What is the total? Put a box in the center. That might have thrown you off. Put a box in the center. So there are 3 digits that will add to the same sum in each and every row. Do that and tell me what the sum is. We have agreed it's an odd number. The sum is 9, no. 6, 7, no. Janice, I'm not understanding your answer. Your sum is 11. Janice, Brian, I think you didn't get the correction to put that box in the center. Okay, please do. Arlington, you're on the right track. So to Miss Gail, so to D. Barrett. All right, now you're getting the right answer. Yes, I am getting a lot of the correct answer. Very good. Notice how easy that one is after we solve the first one. That's how it is with this approach to problem solving. Solve a simpler problem. You're having a problem in life, think of a smaller, simpler problem. solve the simpler one, and then apply this strategy to it. All right, we're gonna pause again and take one voice from the field. These are your colleagues, and they're demonstrating to you how they teach a particular assessment criteria, and you will evaluate it, see if you like it, and see if you would use it.
To another class where we'll be looking at creating or constructing simple formula. Now let's assume that today your parents give you $500 to go to the shop and you pick up 3 of the same items here. When you give the cashier your money, the $500, you receive a change of $50. So this is what your parents gave you, the $500. You receive a change of $50. So here, we ensure that when we do the subtraction here, we realize that you have given the shopkeeper $450. Now we need to find a simple equation in which we can find the cost of each tissue. So now let the cost of one tissue be equal to X. So let the cost be X. So therefore, since we bought 3, so it has to be 3 times X, which would have equal to the $450. So it means 3X equal 450. So this now is the equation that we're going to use to find the cost of one tissue. We know simple mathematics to find the cost for one. Since it is 3 and I need to find 1, we have to do the opposite of multiplication, which is division. So we divide both sides now by 3. So 3 into 3 goes 1 time. So I have the X, which is the cost for one tissue. And I divide the 450 by 3. 3 into 3, 1. 3 into that 1. 3 into that goes 5. And 3 into 0, 0 times. So the cost is $150. So each of the tissue we have used a formula to find equal $350. Let's look at another scenario. This item, you have to buy it overseas. So we're going to look at it in a different way where we can use another equation in finding this here. So this item we need to buy 3. So we know that if we buy on internet due to the COVID scenario, we know the cost for the item and the quantity. So let's say now since it is US dollars, each of the tissue will cost $2. So the cost this time is $2. However, to ship it to Jamaica in US, shipping will cost us, say, $20. Now, the $20 here is a fixed cost. So it doesn't matter how much you buy, you still have to pay the $20. So if I want to buy X amount of tissue, and this X represents the quantity that you purchase. So let's say the cost for one is $2. And if I decide to buy X amount, I still have to pay my $20 for shipping and handling. So now I have a new equation, 2x plus 20. And this now would represent what I'll have to pay to carry my tissue to Jamaica. So for example, if I buy 4 tissues, then that means it will be 4 times 2, which will be 8. So it will be 4 times 2, which will be equal to 8 plus 20. So that 8 plus 20 equal 28. So now I pay $28 for the tissue. Now, various simple things in adding to this. We could look at, for example, your gross pay. So, because in Jamaica, in the hotel industry, we have persons who work for time. Say to yourself, how much money would I get for the day? So, for example, it's simple. If I am working $500 per hour and I work 8 hours per day, 8 hours per day, and 10 days for the fortnight. And please remember, fortnight means 2 weeks. 2 weeks. We need to find out how much we're going to get at the end of that. So now we can develop a simple formula. The simple formula is the cost that we're gonna get, how much we get per hour. So you could say, well, if I'm working 8 hours, when I say in my head, normally when it's money, students get the answer quickly. But when you say to them, develop a formula, it's very difficult. So you ask them, what do you do? They said, sir, we multiply how much I'm getting by that. So today we're gonna say, I'm working 8 hours. So, and I times how much I'm getting. So it would have been, this would be the rate times the hours. And this now will give me my total amount. So the rate in this case would be $500 times the hours for 8 hours. And now in this case, we get 8 times 0 is 0, 8 times 0 is 0, 8 times 5 is 40. So it means that they will get $4,000 per day. But remember now they're working for 10 days. So this amount must be multiplied now by 10. So when we multiply by 10 here, we end up with $40,000. But this is what is known as gross pay. Gross pay is the money that you get before any deduction is taken care of. So for example, in this contract, if the person was paid $100 per $1,000, they know that from this $4,000 that they get per day, $400 would have been taken out. But we're not looking at that today. We're just talking about your gross pay, how to calculate your gross pay. I hope and trust that you have understand and have an idea of how to develop simple equation as we go on. Thank you very much.
We say a big thank you to Mr. Fullerton for that voice from the field. Let me hope that you got something there that you could use as soon as you start your presentations. Now, we're going to look at another strategy for solving problems. Make an organized list. The last time we said we would make a simpler problem. Now we're going to literally put both of those together, make an organized list and make it a simpler problem. The problem is, how many squares are on an 8x8 checkerboard? Have you ever tried checking it? Math teachers, you would have fun checking the number of squares. You have squares there of every size that you would have to bring to bear on the number of squares in all. But before you do that, I am going to ask you to look at the figure that's on the board and say, how many squares do you see in that figure? Remember, you have different size squares. How many in all can you identify? All right, I'm waiting on your answers. It will take a little while. I have the technician counting his fingers off. Okay, I'm seeing some answers now. 36, 30, Adrian says 32. Adrian, try again. Remember we say problem solving, your answer is never wrong. It's just probably wide and you have to try again. So never tell your students that the answer is wrong. We don't want to kill their spirits at all. So I would look at Douglas Francis and say, you're a little bit short. Try again. So too Alicia Brown and Nigel Bowie. Thanks for participating. Kimberly, you're getting there, but you're not there yet. Jenkins, Jenkins, no, you have counted those squares over and over again. So to Powell Brown, you're coming up short. Denise Williams, Adrian Webb, you're coming up short. I would like to meet Mondell Thomas. I'd love to shake your hands. So to Kareem Mondell Thomas, yes, I'd like to shake your hands. You're coming up short. S. Beckford, D. Sinclair, I would love to shake Kay Richards' hand. So to, did I say Kimberly Lake? Kimberly gave me an answer again. Yes, Kimberly, you're right on spot. CG, you're right, you're correct. Janita L. Lawrence, try again. Douglas Francis, you can stop trying. Also Barker, M. Barker, C. Farquharson, good. Double check Ezra Isaacs, double check that answer. C. Officer Kali, A. Jenkins, T. Perrin, Shade Beckford. Now I'm getting a number of correct answers. Check again, Nadine Lewis. Ezra Isaacs, try again. You're on your way, but you're not there yet. A. Brown, S. Nevins, good. Now I'm getting correct answers. Oral Ellis, Winston Williams, check it over. T. Price, you're over. S. Wilson, very good. Now, should I give you the right answer or let you continue to try? For those who have finished, I'm going to ask you to do number 1. How many squares are on the 8x8 checkerboard? If you can think as a math teacher, you should be able to do that one by making an organized list. Look for a pattern and make a list. You realize how you did the second one? You identified a square and you see how many squares you had, that size. Then you look for a bigger square made up of twice the size and you see how many of those you had. Then you look for the one just 3 times the length on each side and you got that. And then you did the 4x4. Now, I'm going to ask you to think about the checkerboard and let's see if I can get one correct answer before we leave. The 8x8 checkerboard. Please don't Google it. You defeat the whole purpose if you went to Google. When you do virtual teaching, you have to ensure that your students don't pull a fast one on you like you're doing with me now. I can see you. Not ready yet. Clearly, it's proving quite a challenge for some of you. Oh, I'm seeing an answer of 125. Joanne, I think you're short. 84 is short, Officer Cali. I know you're having fun, don't? Yes. 138. Joanne, you're answering the second box, but I can't see your answer for the first one anymore. It has gone. No, don't roll it, I can't find it so fast. It's slow, it's a Joanne Henry. Oh, 45 squares. Joanne, 45 squares is short for the second one. Okay, you can roll now. I have a math student on my hands, a very good one too. You're doing the pattern. Douglas Francis, here's to you. Douglas got an answer, so I'm looking for your answer, R. Thomas. Yes, you got that. You found the pattern. C. Coward, you're home and dry, so to Kimberly Lake, you don't have to put a question sign, it's correct. S. Nevins, you're correct. You're short, Dawn and Charmaine. Edward Jarrett, okay, you're right. So to Patrick Humes and K. Lewis. M. Barker. Did we sum the squares? Of course we did. S. Williams, we did. And I got it. Plunkett says 204 squares are on the checkerboard. So we're going to pause here. So you see how it is. Solve a simpler one, then go to an organized list, and you're sure to come up with an answer. It will take some time, but then what is a good problem if it doesn't take some time? We're now going to go back to take on another voice from the field from one of our regions.
Good morning, everyone. Today, we are going to talk about measures of central tendency. Now, what is that? That deals with the mean, mode, and median, and how can we differentiate them? Now, in mathematics, we speak of data set, and what does this deals with? This deals with just simple set having numbers. So, where do these numbers come from? They come from doing research, they come from questionnaire, and also doing surveys. Data sets can typically be small if we are referring to, for example, these 4 students about their ages. Another example we can look at is the books here and talking about the number of pages, very small sets. However, data sets can also be very large if we are referring to for example, the variety of fruits at the market. So to be able to describe these sets and distribution, we use the measures of central tendencies, and these are the mean, mode, and median. Do you think you would be able to find the balance between two numbers below? Certainly. We can find the central number between 2 and 8. How do we do that? Let's look at the scenario below. We move up from 2 to 3, we move up, we move down from 8 to 7, and we keep moving until you realize that the central number here is 5. So both blocks are on 5. So the central number here is 5. Let's look at another scenario in a different way. 3 sisters got some sweets. One got 3, the other 2 sisters got 9 each. The sister who got 3 felt bad because she got the least. The other 2 sisters with the 9 sweets felt bad for her and wanted to share equally. So they start to share and they keep sharing, and notice what is happening. In sharing, no sweet is lost or gained. So they constantly now, one have 4, one have 8, one have 9. So they're gonna continue sharing and sharing, and notice they're sharing. So by sharing, you notice now that all 3 of them do have 7 each. So what we're actually finding the center, what we're doing is we are finding the mean. So the center value represents the mean of the data. So the mean average of 8 and 2 is 5. The mean average of 4, 7, and 10 is 7. And the mean average of 9, 9, and 3 is 7. Now, this sharing on a number line may be difficult when dealing with large numbers. So we can make it easier. Let's look at the scenario with the 3 girls. All we do first is to add this number of sweets, and here we get 21. What do we do next? We will now divide the 21 by 3, and here the mean average is 7. The next central tendency is a neighbor scenario. You own a shoe store that sells male shoes for teenagers. You're planning to buy a stock of the latest Michael Jordan shoes, but you can only get the stock in one size. Over the years, you realize that out of every 10 boys who come to the store, 8 of them wear size 7. Which size would you buy in stock of the Michael Jordans in? Now, certainly is 7. Now, 7 represents the mode. So what is the mode? The mode is the number that occur most frequent in a set of data. That is the number that repeats the most. Now here is an example. In this case, the mode is 7. Why? Because 7 occurs the most. Now let's look at another example. Now notice in this case, the mode is 67 and 96. Why? Because 67 and 96 occurs the most in this situation. Now the next measures of central tendency is the median. Now what is the median? The median is the middle value of a set of data. Now there are 2 steps to find the median of a set of data. Step 1, place the numbers in ascending or ascending order. Step 2, look at the number in the middle, and that is the median. Now let's look at an example here to find the median. Remember, we must put the number in order. So we arrange the numbers in order. One of my strategy here is to delete 2 numbers, one from the left and one from the right, inward. And let's see what happened when we carry out this activity. Here we are deleting, and we'll continue deleting inward from both ends. And here we have 1 number remaining in the middle, and that number is 7. So 7 here is the median of the data. Please note that sometimes you have 2 numbers remaining in the middle, and that number, all you have to do is to find the average or the arithmetic mean of those 2 numbers, and that will give you the median. Now, what have we learned today? We learned about the central tendency, which include mean, median, and mode. The mean represents the arithmetic average, the median represents the mega value, the mode represents the number occurring the most. So, thank you for watching, and have yourself a wonderful day.
All right. How was that video for you? Let me hope you enjoyed it and that you found it worthwhile and you can use the approach. If you couldn't, you could probably indicate how you could improve it, because we're all teachers and we do things differently. We're going to move on now to, before I move on, I noticed I was getting some good responses for the number of squares on the checkerboard. As somebody wrote the answer, it is the squares of the numbers from 1 to 8, the sum of the squares of the numbers from 1 to 8. Very good. And during the break, a number of you found that out and you did it successfully. So we're going to look at a third approach to problem solving, one that I think is our go-to approach, trial and error. You know, guess, check, revise, the same as trial and error. All right, let us see this one. 5 cards are lined up on a table. 2 cards have, there's a symbol like a horseshoe on them. 2 cards have 0 with a line going through on them, and 1 has a B. Using the clues, draw the shape that belongs on each card. Take 2 minutes. You can write the order in your, write the symbols in your chat and I'll see them. Omega, theta, beta. Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Wilson. Arrange them for me now. The omega, theta, beta. Please confirm. All right, let's go. Today I'm representing City and Guilds. Somebody's saying unable to see, writing is blur. What is that? Okay, I'm told that if the writing is blurred, it's your Wi-Fi that's giving problems, not ours today. We are on point. The order talking about the page. All right. I'm waiting on answers. The order for the symbols are I'm agreeing with you, S. Warren. Douglas Francis, I'm agreeing with you too. A. Webb, J. Bryan, D. Barrett. All right. All right, I noticed you took on the challenge and most of you got an answer and the correct answer for that one. Well, let me give you another one now. Another one that you're going to do by trial and error. Squares. Squares. Now, this figure shows an array of 17 toothpicks forming supposed to be 6 squares. But we're going to work with the rectangles. By removing exactly 6 toothpicks, leave 2 rectangles. All right, you have there 17 lines forming 6 rectangles. By removing 6 lines, leave exactly 2 rectangles. Just indicate which ones you would move. Okay. You can go up to 11, 18. Oh, no. Remove the ones at the end, leaving No. Suzette, when you remove those two, do you end up with two rectangles? I don't think so. Remove the 6 at either ends. You will not end up with what I'm looking for is 2 complete rectangles. All right. Not rectangles with little pieces jutting out, but 2 complete rectangles. Douglas Francis, you're onto something there. Add my first 2 top rectangles. S. Williams, if you do it that way, you're going to end up with the rectangles having lines in between. We want clear rectangles without any lines in the middle of them. L. Mackenzie, you are correct. What about the others? Let me see you try. Mundell Thomas, okay, you got it. Okay. I notice I'm getting answers on YouTube. I'm not able to see them right now, but I'll review them later. I'm not able to get in touch, but one never knows. When you give your students and they start to give you kudos, you'll remember me. Remove the lines in the middle of the remove the top lines in the first 2, then the middle lines in the rectangle and get shape figure. I'm trying to work out your answer, Ruben. Remove the first column, that will give you 1, 2, 3. To remove the first column is going to take 5 sticks. Perrin, I think you're going to move too many. I'll tell you something though, those of you who are having problems, you have made an assumption here that ought not to be made. You are assuming that the figure that will be left will have squares of the same size. You have to be careful when you're doing problem solving that you do not make assumptions that are not a part of your problem. You are not given those assumptions, don't create them. So to ease your burden, I would tell you that to do this one, you're going to end up with 2 squares, 2 different sizes. All right, so try that now and see if it's any easier. Remember that you are removing exactly 6 sticks, only 6, to leave 2 rectangles. Some of you are removing far too many sticks. Yes, Charles, you're correct. I'm having difficulty with yours, Miss Nicely, S Nicely. Remove 3 from the middle and 3 from the bottom right corner. When I do that, I'm not getting 2 rectangles. But I notice you are enjoying that one. I'm going to leave you to enjoy that one and to spend some time with it while I go to another one. All right. Okay. Now I notice that some of you are really enjoying that one. I'm getting 2 answers from some persons. When they try again. I love to see that you're willing to try. It's not correct, you try again. Fine. We're going to look at one more strategy, and that is working backwards. All right. That is one that if you practice that one as an adult or a child, you'll never end up going anywhere late. The other one. Okay, wake up time. By completing the above table, work out the latest time you can wake up in order to arrive at school by 8:30. All right. Now, if you're willing to write down your times and the activities you have, the duration of each, what time you're supposed to arrive, you work backwards until you determine exactly what time you should wake up to get everything done that you want to do. You know, there are some people, don't care how they try, they never arrive on time. It doesn't have to happen to you. This is a methodology you can teach your children so that they'll never show up late, barring extenuating circumstances. So looking on that table, you can add more than 6 activities. I had space there for 6, but you can put in all the activities that you need. The duration of time for those activities, check them backwards and see what time you have to wake up to get to school. So start doing that one quickly for me. And let me see, and then you can check, are you waking up at the correct time? That's off. Okay. All right, are you determining what time you should wake up in the mornings to be at school on time? Have you been getting up at that time? Or you're still on holidays, so you don't have to face that right now. But come a couple days time, you'll be doing that. What I wanted you to tell me is what time you should wake up, and have you been getting up at that time to go to school? Thank you, Ms. Darby. In addition to waking up on time, you could do this to ensure that you log in on time. Many of you having problems, you are logging in late for your classes in the morning. Work backwards and see exactly what time you have to wake up to log in on time. Instead of arriving at school on time, it should be logging in on time. All right, Miss A. Francis. I hope those clothespins work for you. All right. A simple one that you'll do quickly. Give me top one. Teacher handing out crayons. Quickly tell me, how many crayons did the teacher have at the start of the day? I'm not getting any responses yet. How many crayons did the teacher have? H. Christie? Will these problems be shared with us, Miss Bernard? Exactly what do you mean? Are you asking for answers to the problems? No. You will find answers, won't you? The teacher started the day with just one set of crayons. The number of answers that I'm getting, some of them just can't be right. So let's go. Wow, 179, 137, 163. Remember, you're going to be working backwards. See if that can help you to arrive at an answer. I'm going to leave you to work on this one while we pause and take the other voice from the field. All right, so pay attention now to that voice.
Of this presentation is to highlight the importance of the order property for the 4 basic operations. The order property of an operation determines whether the position or change in position of a number in relation to the operation will yield a different result at the end. Hello, Ma, how you doing? You went to the hardware today? How the shopping and the house coming on?
Every time you call me, it's the same thing. You think me got thief of money or something? Why? You think me got take the money and don't build the house?
Come on, Ma. You know I'm just excited about building the house. Nothing like that.
Well, I did go to the hardware store today and buy 28 bags of cement and some other things.
28 bags? All right, so that's 28 plus the 15 from before. Okay.
No, it's 15 plus 28. Remember, I buy the 15 first. Me know you do your calculation, then if me I rob you. Make sure you check it right.
Ma, whether you want to put the 15 or the 28 first, it's still the same cement you buy. You buy 15 one time and you buy 28 the other time. All right?
Just make sure you check it something right, because me know teacher good at school.
Ma, anyway, you check it is the same 43 bags of cement you're going to come with. Anyhow, how much you pay for your bag?
Well, $1,000 me pay for your bag.
All right, ma. So if you pay $1,000 for a bag and it's 43 bags, that's 1,000 multiplied by 43. $43,000.
1,000 cement you buy or 43?
What you mean, ma? The 43 bags of cement you say?
So how you pay a check 1,000 by 43? No must 43 by 1,000. You a check and can't check good yourself.
Oh boy. All right, ma. All right. Anyway, I take it is same $43,000 for the blocks. Anyways, for the cement, I say sorry. Anyways, how much you say for a block, and how much more we need?
The last set of 100 we buy at $10,000. So that means say a 10 cent for one. And we need 600 more.
But ma, what kind of maths you say over there, do? If it's $10,000 for the 100 blocks, that means $100 for one. I can't 10 cents.
So above me back, divide 100 by 10,000. You get 100 unless my calculator wrong.
Calm down, ma. Nobody don't say about. But if it's $10,000 you pay for the 100 blocks, and must the 10,000 you divide by 100, not the 100 by 10,000.
Oh, bruh, me never know say matter how you put in a calculator. So $100 for one, and we need 600 more.
All right, ma. No worry yourself about that. Anyways, I send you $50,000. You see, I want you to put $20,000 into the savings account and then use $10,000, pay the insurance, and the rest is yours. All right?
All right. You say I send $50,000. Wait, let me check in. So you are send $50,000. And if you take $20,000 and put in the savings account, then if you take out $10,000 for the insurance, so the $20,000 minus the $10,000 leave me with $10,000. So me subtract it $10,000 from the $50,000, but left me with $40,000. So the $40,000 are for me.
Ma, calm down. I send in you $50,000. Everything where you pay come out of the $50,000. So when you get the money, you pay the $20,000 to the savings account. That's gonna leave you with $30,000, ma. And then from that, you pay the $10,000 for the insurance. That leave you with $20,000, and that is the $20,000 that is yours, ma.
All right, my child. You know my head no good with the numbers. Them all of the numbers you get to me right now. So you tell me, say, the $20,000 and the $10,000 come out of the $50,000. Well, if it's $20,000 for me. All right, my child, me get you.
Yes, ma, that is it. $20,000 is yours. Anyways, may we talk to you tomorrow, all right? Have a good night. The scenario highlighted the 4 basic operations and their order properties. It also implicitly demonstrated the importance of the order property through the application of a real-life daily activity. The order property for addition allows for the sum of a series of numbers to remain the same regardless of the position or order in which the numbers are written. The same is true for multiplication. Regardless of the positioning of the numbers, the product will remain the same. The same cannot be said, however, for subtraction and division, as the positioning of the numbers will determine the difference and the quotient, respectively.
Okay, I hope you found those videos interesting and worthwhile. Now, so far we have looked at 4 strategies: solve a simpler problem, make an organized list, trial and error, working backwards, and the last one we're going to look at now is to draw a diagram. These are all approaches you can take when you have a problem to solve, whether real life problems or mathematical problems. I'm hoping that you'll apply these strategies to real life. Now, we're going to look at a question, the second question on this activity page. Anne is making a box without a lid. She starts with a 40 centimeter square piece of cardboard and cuts out 4 equal squares from each corner of the cardboard. She then folds the sides of the box and glues the edges together. How big does she need to cut the corner square in order to make a box with the greatest volume? Read it a second time and let me hope you understand what it's saying. Got the picture? Okay, sketch a diagram. The diagram doesn't have to be exact because you're going to be writing the correct measurements on it. So your diagram, when you finish, should look like that. I just need answers now. Okay, I am waiting on answers, but I'm not getting any answers. So, please share your answers. Somebody's asking, I notice you're asking to see the problem again. Here it is. Question 2. Rasheen, it's not the diagram we're looking for. We're looking for the answer. Here's the question. What should be the dimensions of the box in order for it to have the greatest volume? Okay, send your answers quickly. I notice the responses are slowly coming. What's happening? And the ones I'm getting are far apart. Joel, you gave me the name of your school, but you didn't give me an answer. I know it takes a lot of time. So while you're working on that, can I encourage you, given what is happening with your children, they have been home for 6 months, and just when they're getting all excited to go back to school, they're told you have another 3 months off. So we're going to use problem solving to get them excited again about math, and we're going to use problem solving to get them thinking critically. But as math teachers, it is your responsibility to have your students develop an attitude towards problem solving. Help them to readily take on a problem and solve it. If you don't get the answer at first, then see that as just experience and move on again. Ask your students, in addition to that, to practice being grateful. Express gratitude as often as they can. It does help the mindset. All right, develop an attitude of gratitude. Ensure that every day they have something to be grateful about. And that is where the math teacher can help them to develop some strategies for coping with what is going on around them now. If they need help, encourage them to ask for help, whether from you as a math teacher or anybody else, but encourage them to talk so they can go through this period and end up being better for having done it. So we're going to develop their attitude, an attitude for gratitude, where they're going to seek help wherever they can get some good advice, learn to think critically, and accept their mistakes as experiences. All right? Do have a pleasant day. We'll check those answers that are still coming in. Thank you very much.
Hi, everyone. Hi, everyone. I trust that you enjoyed the workshop and that you are all equipped to do even greater things than you have done in the past year with your students. So at this time, I want to invite you to complete our exit questionnaire. If you were physically at the workshop, you would typically complete the exit questionnaire at the end, but we're going to provide a link to SurveyMonkey, and you will complete the exit questionnaire there, and then we will get the feedback once you have done so. We also urge you to respond in the chat now and advise us of the schools you are representing. It would be good also if you could share your email addresses with us again. Also wish to say that we'll be sharing with you a kit packed with all the love and care from the rep office, with a mask, with support material, and other information that will be useful throughout this academic year. So once again, we wish to thank you for staying online with us and for participating in our Zoom workshop for our math skills. Now at this time, I'm going to hand over to Mrs. Marva Duncanson, who will be closing out today's activity.
Hi, everyone. So it's noon, and in normal circumstances, we'd be having lunch. Regrettably, there's no such thing as a virtual lunch, so we have to make it up to you next year, God willing. But really, we want to thank you for staying with us for this workshop. We started at a little after 9, and it's now noon. Crystal has asked you to complete the exit questionnaire, and we need that information so that in areas where we can improve, we will. But without your feedback, we simply can't. It's my pleasure to say that 300 teachers have joined today via Zoom, and we're not sure how many via YouTube. So we really want to thank you for taking the time and the care to join. We know that many of you are probably education officers, math coaches, literacy coaches, and then of course we would have had our teachers, we would have had our heads of department. We thank each of you, a very special thank you. And of course, we had today one of our ladies from our, we call them our panel of wise women, and they comprise Professor Clark, Miss Brown, and of course today you had the wisdom, the expertise of Mrs. Edwards again. So I can only encourage you to continue to stay the course. We are here to support you. That is our role, and we take it very seriously. We're very passionate about what we do and very committed to this land, Jamaica, that we so love. I just want to reiterate that it is very important that you take advantage of the support materials that City and Guilds is sharing. A significant part of this is your ability to navigate the smart screen, which is the tutorial platform that City and Guilds offers. It's part of our offer to you. So over the next couple of weeks, we're going to be writing to each of you, and we're going to be inviting you to join us in a one-to-one session to show you how you can use Smart Screen to its maximum, to enhance your delivery skills, to help and support your students so that they can do even better than they're currently doing. And of course, just to remember that we are not sure how this year will end. Already we've had the setback where school has had to be put back from September and then to October. And right now we are on hold. So we're not certain how things will pan out. The calculated grading is not something that we expect that we will have to do in 2021, but you know, you never know. As this COVID pandemic has shown us, each day is an adventure, isn't it? So it's a wonderful thing that we're Christians and we trust God, so we know how to walk by faith and not by sight. But we need to be prepared. And so I just want to remind you that we're also making available to you 2 live papers that you can use and deliver to your students. One in December when they would reach a certain level of preparedness, and another in March when they should be at a more advanced stage. So that if you need to draw on grades, should there be the option of going back to a calculated grading, you would have a standardized grade with which you could report with confidence. There would be no ambivalence on your part. So we encourage you to utilize all the support materials that we offer. Read the syllabus, become familiar with the learning objectives. We typically share the Chief Examiner's report. Well, there won't be one for 2020, but certainly it would not help. It would help, it wouldn't harm to look at the 2019 or even the 2018 Chief Examiner's report. All of that is available on the website that you can simply revisit and focus on those areas that traditionally our children have been weak in. And of course, take advantage of those sessions to become familiar, to be experts in using the platform, the Smart Screen platform. It's an exciting time. In the midst of all this dilemma that we're in, it's an exciting time. We're using the technology more. We're all learning a lot more. Perhaps we would never have ventured down this road had it not been for COVID. So even in dark times, there is light because we are a people of hope. So my friends, I want to thank you for joining us today. Promise you a great lunch next year, God willing, if we get together. And I wish for you a wonderful afternoon. God bless.
You are here, moving in our midst. I worship you. I worship you. You are here, working in this place. I worship you. I worship you. You are here, moving in our midst. I worship you. I worship you. You are here, working in this place. I worship you. I worship you. Hey, waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. Waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. You are here, touching every heart. I worship worship you. I worship you. You are here, healing every heart. I worship you. I worship you. You are here, turning lives around. I worship you. I worship you. You are here, mending every heart. I worship you. I worship you. Hey, we make a miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. That is who you are. Yeah, we make a miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. You wipe away all tears. You mend the broken heart. You're the answer to it all. Jesus, you wipe away all tears. You mend the broken heart. You're the answer to it all, to it all. Jesus, yeah. We make miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. We make miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are. You are here, touching every life. I worship you. I worship you. You are here, meeting every need. I worship you. I worship you. Oh,